Level 1, the Karting Dreamer. At 7 years old, the race car in your head is still a toy on the floor. You watch helmet cam videos until the living room carpet becomes Monaco, Daytona, and every track you cannot name yet. Then someone finally puts you in a rental cart. The helmet is too big. The gloves feel stiff. Your feet barely know which pedal is which. The cart only reaches 25 miles per hour. But the first time it shakes under you, it feels like a rocket with no roof. You spin in turn 1. A smaller kid passes you twice. Your lap time appears on the board near the bottom, and for 1 second, embarrassment burns hotter than the engine. But then it happens. One corner comes clean. You brake, turn, and accelerate without panic, and the cart slides through like it was listening. That feeling follows you home. You draw tracks in notebooks, hold imaginary steering wheels at dinner, and ask to go back every weekend. Nobody sees a champion. They see a kid obsessed with plastic barriers, gasoline smell, and a number on a timing screen. But you understand something before you have words for it. Speed is not chaos when you respect it. Speed can be learned. And after that first clean corner, you do not just want to drive. You want to get faster every time the light goes green. You are changed. Level 2, the local kart racer. By 10, weekends no longer belong to cartoons or sleeping late. They belong to alarm clocks before sunrise. A cart trailer rattling behind the car, cold air at the track, and your parents with a stopwatch. Local kart racing looks small from the outside, but on the grid, with 20 carts buzzing around you, it feels like the whole world has narrowed into one helmet visor. You learn that bravery is useless without rhythm. Brake here. Turn once. Trust the tires. Your first rival wears a red helmet and always seems faster through turn 3. For months, you chase him by tenths. 0.9 behind, then 0.7, then 0.3. You finish last, get corrected, and learn excuses. Do not lower lap times. Race by race, you understand the invisible parts of speed. Tire temperature, throttle control, clean exits, patience behind slower traffic, and how one greedy move can ruin 8 laps of work. Then, after an 8-race local season, you finally stand on a tiny podium holding a plastic trophy. It is not gold. It is not national. A few dozen people clap. But to you, it feels like proof that the first rental cart was not a random thrill. It was the beginning of a climb. Now your name appears on result sheets. Other kids know your helmet. Your parents talk about next season like racing is not a phase. And you realize the scariest part of chasing speed is not losing. It is discovering you might actually be good enough to keep going. Level 3, the junior racing prospect. At 13, the track stops feeling like a weekend hobby and starts feeling like a test. You enter regional karting events, where the grids are bigger, the engines sound sharper, and every family in the paddock acts like this is the path to a real career. There are 40 drivers now, not 20. Some have coaches, data sheets, new tires every session, and parents who talk in lap times instead of sentences. Your first practice is brutal. You are fast in one corner and slow in 3 others. A coach watches from the fence and says, "You have good hands, but not enough patience." That sentence stays with you. You learn starts, defense, wet lines, passing without desperation, and how to lose without blaming the cart. After 3 seasons, you are not the kid spinning in turn 1 anymore. You take 3 podiums, earn a small sponsor sticker from a local shop, and finish one final race with a cracked visor and shaking arms. People begin asking your parents what the plan is next. For the first time, talent has created expectation. That feels good for about 1 day. Then it becomes pressure. Because now the question is not whether you love racing. It is whether you can survive being taken seriously. Every lap starts to count. You study onboard footage like homework, pausing at braking markers and memorizing how faster kids attack the same corner. The dream is still young, but your excuses are disappearing now. Level 4, the first real race car rookie. At 17, the karting world suddenly feels small because the next machine has doors, a roll cage, a harness, and a steering wheel that punishes every messy habit. The first time you sit in a real race car, the cockpit feels too hot and too serious. Your name is on the window, your suit is new, your hands are sweating before the engine even starts. On the first straight, the car reaches 110 miles per hour, and your brain realizes karting did not prepare you for how heavy speed feels when there is metal around you. Braking points arrive faster. Tires fade. The car moves under you in slow warnings instead of quick slides. Your instructor tells you to stop chasing the stopwatch and start listening to the machine. That hurts because you thought you were ready. Your first club race has 12 cars, a few hundred people, and a small pit area that feels like a professional world. You miss an apex on lap 2, overdrive on lap 4, and lose a position because you were busy defending instead of driving clean. Afterward, the timing sheet shows you 2 seconds behind the leader. It looks terrible until your coach points out that you finished. That matters. You are no longer just a fast kid in a kart. You are learning the cost of real racing: tires, brakes, repairs, nerves, and humility. The car does not care about your trophies. It only answers the driver you are today. And when the trailer door closes that night, you know the climb just became heavier, faster, and much more real than your classroom dream. Level 5, the regional racing prospect. By 20, your helmet is recognized in the paddock before your face is. You have spent enough weekends loading trailers, sleeping in cheap hotels, and eating track food to understand racing is not a glamorous dream. It is a habit with invoices. The regional series gives you 14 races, and everyone feels like a job interview at speed. You are quicker now, but so is everyone else. The drivers around you know how to block without panic, save tires without slowing too much, and turn small mistakes into permanent gaps. Early in the season, you finish fourth 3 times and hate it more than finishing 10th, because now the podium is close enough to hurt. Then the first win comes on a hot Sunday afternoon, after you hold the lead for 11 laps with a faster car in your mirrors. Your hands cramp after the checkered flag. Your team screams over the radio. A local article calls you one to watch, and a small sponsor adds $15,000 to keep the season alive. By the final round, you have 5 podiums, 2 wins, 10,000 followers, and mechanics who nod when you walk past. But attention changes the pressure. A crash is no longer just embarrassing. It is expensive. A bad weekend makes sponsors quiet. A missed breaking point can undo months of belief. You learn to race like someone building a career, not chasing a highlight. That is the real promotion. You are no longer only fast, you are becoming dependable under pressure. That is what real teams remember most. Level 6, the Pro Series Rookie. At 23, you sign the contract that makes racing feel official and terrifying at the same time. Your name goes on a team shirt. Your car has real sponsors on the doors. Engineers open telemetry after every session and show you, with painful accuracy, where courage was late and throttle was early. The grid has 30 cars now, and the drivers beside you are not local heroes. They are paid professionals, factory prospects, and veterans who can smell a rookie before the first corner. Your first qualifying session is a lesson in humility. You miss the setup window, overdrive the tires, and start near last. No one cares about your regional trophies. The stopwatch only respects what you do today. During your first 20-race season, you learn how expensive one mistake can be. A flat-spotted tire ruins practice. A damaged splitter costs the team hours. A sponsor meeting, after a bad finish, feels worse than any lecture. But slowly, you adapt. You learn to speak with engineers, protect equipment, give useful feedback, and fight for 10th like it is a trophy. The first points finish comes after a wet race where half the field gets impatient and you do not. It is not a win, but the garage treats it like a sign. You get a DOLA 3000 race bonus, a short interview, and a team debrief where nobody calls you lucky. That matters. The pro level teaches you that talent opens the door, but repeatable performance keeps the seat. Every lap now has consequences: contracts, sponsors, mechanics, reputation, and the fear that someone younger is waiting for your mistake. Level 7, the championship contender. At 26, you stop being the rookie people are patient with and become the driver people expect to beat. The season opens with a podium, then another, then a victory where you pass the points leader with 3 laps left and make the commentators raise their voices. Suddenly, your garage has cameras in it. Fans wait by the fence with hats and posters. A sponsor puts your number on billboards near the circuit. Some weekends draw 20,000 people, and from inside the helmet, the noise becomes a low vibration under your ribs. But fighting for a championship feels different from chasing one good race. Every detail has weight now. A bad pit stop can cost 5 positions. One flat spot in qualifying can ruin Sunday. One emotional move against your rival can turn a title fight into a highlight of what not to do. You learn to think in points, not pride. Sometimes second place is smarter than a desperate win. Sometimes the hardest thing is letting a faster car go because the season is longer than one corner. After 8 podiums and 4 wins, you enter the final round's top 3 in points, and every interview asks if you believe you can win it all. You say yes, but at night you replay every mistake. The 7-year-old karting kid wanted speed. This version wants control. That is the rank change. You are fast enough to win now, but the championship will only belong to the driver who can carry pressure without letting it drive the car. Your team studies your body language after practice. Your rival studies your starts. Even family learns not to call before qualifying because the weekend balances on one clean exit and one mistake nobody can take back now. Level 8. The world-class racing champion. At 31, the championship season becomes the story people will replay for years. You are driving for a major team now, with factory support, global sponsors, and a car that carries your name at 200 miles per hour. The year starts badly. A poor qualifying session puts you deep in the field. A rival wins twice before you win once. Commentators wonder if pressure has finally found you. Then the comeback begins. In the rain, you pass 3 cars in 5 laps. At a street circuit, you save a car that should have hit the wall and turned disaster into second place. By mid-season, every race feels like a chapter in a fight bigger than speed. Your engineers trust your feedback. Your mechanics work through the night. Fans wear your number at airports, grandstands, and hotel lobbies. The final race has 100,000 people in the seats and 10 million watching from home. You start second. Your rival starts first. For 42 laps, the title moves back and forth with every tire change, radio message, and mistake that almost happens. With 5 laps left, you get one chance. Not a reckless dive, not a miracle. A clean run, perfect braking, and the kind of pass you practiced since karting. When you cross the line, the radio explodes. Your crew climbs the pit wall. Your family is crying before you stop the car. The trophy is heavier than you expected, but the memory is heavier. You are not just a fast driver anymore. You are a world-class champion, the name every young racer says when someone asks who they want to become. Later, alone in the garage, you touch the top of the helmet that carried you through the season and remember the rental cart, the oversized gloves, the first spin, and the corner that made speed feel like home. Now the whole sport has seen it. Level 9, the Motorsport Legacy Legend. At 38, the trophies have stopped feeling like the whole story. You still win races, but people talk about your career in a different way now. They mention the rain drive, the last lap pass, the comeback season, the rival who pushed you harder than anyone, and the crash you walked away from before returning stronger. There are 50 wins behind you, multiple championships, museum helmets, signed posters, and fans who bring faded programs from races they watched as kids. Younger drivers study your onboard laps the way you once studied other people. Some ask for advice. Some want your seat. Some only want 5 minutes near the person who proved the climb was possible. The strange part is that legacy does not feel loud. It feels like seeing your old karting track again and realizing the barriers look smaller. You start a driver academy for kids with talent, but no money, because you know speed is expensive, long before it becomes famous. You pay for tires, coaching, entry fees, and travel for a few names nobody knows yet. You teach them that racing is not bravery without thought. It is discipline at the edge of fear. It is knowing when to attack, when to wait, when to protect the car, and when to accept second place, because the season is longer than pride. The media calls you a legend, but legends are built from ordinary habits repeated when nobody is filming. Early alarms, neck training, data, review, apologies after mistakes, thank you calls to mechanics. The helmet from your first world title now sits behind glass at team headquarters. But the helmet that matters most is older, scratched, and too small for you now. It is the one from your first karting seasons, the one that still smells like fuel, sweat, and childhood belief. Sometimes before a big race, a young driver touches that helmet display for luck. You watch them and see every version of yourself at once. The kid spinning in turn one, the local rival chaser, the real car rookie, the pro fighting for 10th, the contender carrying points, the champion hearing the radio explode. You are no longer only driving for wins. You are guarding the road that led you here. And somewhere, after watching your highlight video, a 7-year-old climbs into a rental cart with an oversized helmet and stiff gloves. They brake too early, spin once, and come back smiling. Nobody sees a champion yet. No sponsor waits by the fence. No reporter knows there's their name. The lap time is slow, the cart is shaking, and the gloves feel too big. But the same feeling has arrived again. Speed feels like home. The climb begins now.